All right, welcome back with a quick little news of the day video here for you guys, and this is going to be one of many videos that I plan on uploading today. We are just less than a day away now from Tour 2 kicking off, at least for the lower division, since there aren't any upper division matches on Monday, which means before that I'm going to be finishing off my preview series in which I go over every single region, take a look at their rosters, if there are any changes, I give you guys a brief little update on that, and also talking about some of the things that I'm looking forward to for that region in that following tour. I have every region left to cover except for the two Europes. Western Europe I actually already covered. You can check it out on my channel after this video. It should be my latest video before this one. And for Eastern Europe, I don't plan on previewing them just because of the postponement of their tour. And until we get some dates for that, I don't plan on doing it until then. And if you guys are unfamiliar with that postponement, feel free to check out a video I made a few days ago on my channel where I talked about that a little bit more. But heading into this tour, there was a lot of excitement. I'm very excited to see how some of these teams are going to be doing in the upper division for the new teams and how some of these new open qualifier teams might be shaking things up, much like Ragdoll, or now known as Team Orca, did when they joined in Tour 1. They made it through those open qualifiers. Notably, they were the team that was giving Talon a really hard time in making it through those open qualifiers. And once they made it into the lower division of Southeast Asia, they made a name for themselves pretty quickly, being one of the top 3 teams that was contending for those top 2 spots. However, near the end of the tour, they showed that they just didn't quite have enough to be able to take down Enigma Galaxy and Polaris, and so they just barely missed out on their chance at making it to the upper division. However, they did still have a very impressive showing, and I was really looking forward to see if they would improve upon their performance in this upcoming tour, especially since they got a whole lot of new deals with the team. They got signed by Team Orca, they had a lot of brand deals that they had mentioned on their Twitter, and I just thought that this was fantastic for the team that had been playing quite well, and it was such a fresh team to watch. And now, unfortunately, we have heard the news that they have been permanently banned from all future Valve events due to not necessarily a match-fixing scandal. I'll explain to you guys how this works. Now, of course, just because a player is permanently banned, that does not mean that the bans cannot be lifted. We have seen in the past where teams have been accused of match-fixing, all 5 players get banned, and then with further investigation, they find that maybe only a couple of the players were actually involved in the match-fixing. However, this doesn't seem like a scenario in which that seems very likely, and I'll again explain what happened. So, Team Orca, formerly known as Ragdoll, is a team that is in the DPC, or was, in the lower division. And there was a team of 5 stack of players called Apex who were trying to make it in through those open qualifiers. And allegedly, and obviously proven now that there has been sufficient enough evidence to have issued bans, players on that team, Apex, were actually sharing accounts with some players on Team Orca, and it was actually the players on Orca who were playing for Apex, thus giving a conflict of interest and a lack of integrity to the competitive scene. Thus, both teams and all the owners of the accounts, all 10 players of those 2 teams, have been banned. And so I'll go off on a list and get you guys info on who got banned. So for Ragdoll, aka Team Orca, we have vtFaded, which really sucks because I became such a big fan of him after his very impressive performance in the last tour. He has been banned. We have Citrus, aka Ajit, has been banned. GY, Yif, and Menu Ping. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. There's a guy that has a name that's written in Mandarin, I believe, on Orca, and I can't pronounce his name. And then from Apex, we have Hung Hung, Bryant, QWE, DabBB, and JJ. So they have all been banned. Of course, again, it's possible that any of these get lifted, but given the fact that it's impossible for either of the teams to have not known what was going on, I find it kind of unlikely, especially because vtFaded actually posted a statement on his Twitter talking about how the fact that, sure, it may have been true, and he kind of even confirmed this in his tweet, mentioning that, yeah, this may have been true, but there wasn't enough evidence that there was actually match fixing involved, which is also something that BTS, who runs the tournament, was accusing them of. However, even if there wasn't any source of match fixing, this is something that still violates the rule, and so I don't see how vtFaded really, his statement really helps the situation here. So anyways, I would love to hear your guys' opinion on this. What do you guys think should happen next? Currently, of course, they have been banned from the DPC, and there is one more open qualifier slot available in Southeast Asia. So we'll see how that ends up going. Now moving on to a team in Western Europe, and this is one that actually took place a few days ago. I apologize, it's been such a long time, but there is a new roster for Into the Breach. They're heading into this lower division, looking to improve upon themselves. They've been one of the teams that has been kind of in the middle of the pack in the lower division for a very long time, at least as an org. Into the Breach has gone through many different rosters in that time, picking up many different stacks of players, and now they've got their new stack featuring 3 brand new players from the last tour. Their old roster consisting of Shad, Exantic, Symmetrical, Tanner, and LeBron Dota. Of course, we had the departure of Shad and LeBron and Symmetrical, none of which have been on a team yet other than Symmetrical, who is now on the new Alliance. So best of luck to him. Hopefully he's able to make that next step and maybe get to that upper division. And their new roster consists of Bill, who is a player that I'm not familiar with, nor do I think was in the last tour or has been in the DPC before, so it should be fun to see his debut. If I'm wrong about that, feel free to let me know in the comments. Exantic and Tanner are still sticking around to play position 2 and 4 respectively, and they brought in Chessie, previously on Chicken Fighters, who had a pretty solid tour in the last tour, bringing him in to play position 3, and J4, previously on Ghost Rocks, to play position 5, who, opposite to Chicken Fighters, had a pretty miserable run in that lower division, and they are actually one of the bottom 2 teams, of which only one of them was actually active since no bounty hunter technically got disqualified before the end of the tour. But yeah, hopefully this ends up working out for the Into the Breach. Again, these guys have been through a lot of rosters in the past, and they're looking to just break through into that top 2, and who knows, maybe this will end up being the stack. They did bring in some pretty impressive players, sticking with some of their more impressive ones as well, like Exantic and Tanner. We'll see where they go from here. And finally, last little bit of news. This is something that I touched on very briefly when I was talking about the whole Team Spirit situation heading into the Dubai Invitational, and that Mira was not going to be participating in the tournament due to the fact that he was residing in Ukraine while the whole war was going on, and so it was unsafe for him to be traveling. They had Roger fill in for him, who I thought played very, very well. His IO definitely stood the test. Even in comparison to a player like Mira, who has been very impressive on his IO as of late. But he has been safely reunited with the rest of the Team Spirit squad, as they are currently residing in Serbia, far and away enough from everything that's going on. And so hopefully with this, they're able to all stay safe. Again, even though they're all together, still no dates confirmed for Tour 2 in Eastern Europe, and I find it kind of unlikely that there will be one unless this comes to an end, just because there's not really a feasible option where all players from the regions, mainly from Ukraine and Russia, are going to be able to travel to an outside location to conduct this tour. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, which again is very unfortunate. But yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As always, previews going up today with lots and lots of previews. If you don't want to miss that, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later with another video.